and we're now live. In theory, we never know if that's true or not. But in any case, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate having you. When we said when everybody knew that you were coming on, everybody was like, you could see the feedback in the group, right? So,
oh, that's nice.
It's been nothing but positive. So welcome from Art the Clown Appreciation Society.
Oh, thank you so much. We've had so much good feedback at the conventions about the movie and the scene. So I'm so glad to be here. I'm a member of the Art the Clown Appreciation Society, and we always do the Terror Fam.
Yes, the Terror Fam. You got it. And we're gonna get you hooked up with a shirt right after. So
fantastic.
We're definitely getting that out. Although Carrie might have already given you one, but we're gonna give you another one. She did.
I lost a little weight, so that might be good.
Yeah. So, we're gonna treat you the way we treat all of the esteemed guests with our first question. When will Terrifier 4 be released?
Oh, it's so funny you asked it. I actually have an answer to that. When Damien Leone says so.
Yeah, that's what we've come to know throughout this journey. That is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
As a filmmaker myself, I have such regard and respect for him and the team, Phil, the Levies, all of them. These are good people. And what I've said time and time again is this success couldn't have happened to nicer people.
100%.
Yeah, right? Am I right? 100%. Like, we're used to success being heaped on people, and then they abuse the success and tell us how to vote and everything.
Right.
When all we need you to do is entertain us.
Right.
And it's all I want. Just entertain me.
Yeah.
I don't need anything else.
Give me some good horror.
Say it again.
Give me some good horror.
Scare me. And that's what we get from this team of operatives. We get good old-fashioned scares, and that's what we want.
That's 100%. I 100% agree with you. All right. Let's see. Polly's going to ask her a question, maybe, if she's not blinking and if I can hear her.
Yes, Holly.
If you could hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So how did you get your big break and get started in the business?
So how did you get your break? How did you get started?
It started in the business. Thank you, Polly. The Terror Fam should know I'm a little deaf. If they meet
so how did you get your break?
Thank you. So I started in the business. Oddly, my first professional job, I was an impressionist. Like a kid walking around going, "You dirty rat, you stinking copper." That's James Cagney, by the way. But doing impressions, and then I was hired to be a clown in a circus at 12 years old. I had more spending money than my father, who was always mad at me because of that. But that's really a joke. He had more spending. But I was in a circus at 12. Then I did magic shows. And then I saw this movie called Give 'Em Hell Harry, where James Whitmore played the president of the United States. I'm sorry?
Oh, no, that's okay. We were having a little bit of volume there, but that's okay.
Can you hear me, though?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you fine.
Oh, yeah. All right. And I saw this movie, and then that's when I decided I wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
And then how did I get started? I did the one thing that a lot of people don't do. I left and actually went to Hollywood at 20 years old and got cast in my first movie at 20. Just a few months later, then I got cast as a lead in a movie called Cave Girl. And although Cave Girl may not have been a great movie, it was seen by one right guy who put me with a manager so that I could be in my second movie, which was River's Edge, which was a bona fide
Right.
choice.
That's right. River's Edge.
Yeah.
Oh my God. River's Edge. Not a lot of people know. I love that. It looks like one of my favorite movies of all time. I can't believe you said River's Edge.
Yeah. You know, I'm the
Not
killer.
River's Edge. Oh my God. Like
Did you-
literally one of my favorite movies of all time.
Well, it's hard because we're all playing teenagers. I was 21.
Right. But well, we're all. But you have to probably have gray hair to have seen that movie. But it's what a great movie. Oh my God.
Yeah, I would say to the Terror family, if you haven't seen it, it's myself, Keanu Reeves. He's done well.
Yeah.
Crispin Glover. He's
Crispin
terrific.
Glover, yeah.
Dennis Hopper.
Ione Skye.
Roxanne Zong.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm having a fangirl moment right now. Sorry.
So yeah, imagine that was my. I was talking about this earlier. My second movie, they would all leave, and I would spend nights and nights and nights acting opposite Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
That's.
His name was Feck in that movie.
Feck,
right?
That's right. Yeah. Feckweed. Remember, we were always looking
I
for
just
the
can't believe
Feckweed.
it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Wow. Anyway.
So that kind of led to everything else. After River's Edge, it put me on a list of actors that people kind of sought out.
Yeah.
And I've been working ever since, really.
Yeah. That's fantastic. River's Edge, man.
Yeah, I've been in since River's Edge, I've been in I think about 175 movies, maybe more, and hundreds and hundreds of television episodes.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. You guys still there? Well, what are you working on now? Or
yeah, we're still here. Are you still hearing us?
Sort of in and out.
It's a little hard, but we're going to get through it. The family's going to stick together.
Sorry.
Well, working on now is we're putting out, and I hope if the family sees the movie somewhere near them, we're putting out a movie called Saint Nick of Bethlehem. So I'm a Santa Claus character in Terrifier 3 and a Santa Claus character in Saint Nick of Bethlehem. And it's a movie you could take the whole family to see, including your parents.
Now, so the cool thing about that, I'll jump to my question real quick. So these questions are from the members. I think you might have seen some of them in there, but this one specifically just addresses that one. It says, this is from Sam Summers. So he says, what was it like switching between Terrifier 3 and Saint Nick of Bethlehem, which I'm looking forward to?
Oh, thank you, Sam. Well, it was quite interesting. I mean, it was really seconds between the two movies. And although neither character is really Santa Claus, they're very different. And that's kind of the fun of being an actor. So even if I look the same, more or less, the characters are different. Saint Nick, he's a little goofier and a little more confused by life than the fellow in Terrifier 3.
Right.
So it was a good time. I love that. That's my favorite part of being an actor is transformation. And this is a really obvious way to see how you approach two different guys as the same actor in the middle.
Yeah.
But I'll do a faith-based movie, then I'll do a horror movie, then I'll play Grandpa Munster, then I'm in Star Wars. So it's all, playing these different characters one after another. There was actually a week I was on the Munsters and Star Wars in the same week. To go from, Grandpa Munster, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
the other character was crazy.
You have to sort of get in and out of character, right? And change your mindset, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Karen Walsh Abbott. No, this is Polly. Oh, Polly's. Oh, she back. Let me see. Sorry. That's weird. keep cutting out. Karen Walsh Abbott asks, if a fan runs into you out in the wild, would you welcome an exchange, or do you prefer to be left alone in your private life? Which I think I probably know the answer to this. I'm sure the answer differs depending on celebrity. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, Karen, it's a very good question. If you knew me a little better, you'd know that I'm happy to meet anybody, anytime. I feel like this thing that I've been blessed to be able to do is a gift from God. So feedback is always appreciated. Every star is different. Not that I should refer to myself as a star. I'm an actor, but I'm happy to meet people. I'm happy to take pictures. I'm pretty open to that being part of the job, and I don't ever understand actors who don't want to do it. Now, maybe that's not right. You think, oh, Tommy Lee Jones, maybe he's bothered a lot. I'm not really bothered. The only thing I have started doing, it's funny, Sean, at conventions, when people want to give me their opinion that's negative, I say, you could stop right there. No, that's fine. And they say, well, you don't want me to lie to you, right? And I say, well, I don't really require knowing how you feel one way or another.
Right.
That's where we're a little confused, as I think in society. It's okay to, if you don't like something, to just, you don't have to tell someone to their face.
Yeah, right.
It's funny what people say when you're the guy who's in everything. People will just not know that. They'll say, oh my God, you're so much fatter in the movies, or you look so much older than I thought you would, and they're not trying to be mean. They're just not, they were surprised by bumping into me or whatever.
Right.
And they'll say, now, I know you from high school, right? I go, no, from TV. And they say, no, I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
And I just think, yeah, you're that guy who
Right.
doesn't watch TV.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
it's like you can, if you don't, you can just, instead of reacting, it's like social media, right? Instead of reacting, you just move on to the next post.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
And I love this. My wife's skulking about. I love the great Tammy Roebuck. I like meeting people. I like people. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to meet me and tell me how much you don't like me,
right.
I might say, let's not have that conversation.
Right. Exactly. Let's see. So Chris Summers says, how much fun was it to play Santa in this movie, then be his victim? So Art Santa's victim.
Right. Chris, thank you. It was great. Damien is great. The fans may not know that I knew for about 2 years I was playing Santa. So I knew it was a Christmas Story. I would think back in 2022, maybe 2021 even. So I've known a long time what we were doing, and they shot me at the end of the movie. So they had shot almost everything before that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they really gave good time and attention and energy to the kill. And I'd like to also, give great credit to Chris Tinsley's crew.
Mm-hmm.
Heather was there every day making up.
Yeah.
David and I think it was Eric.
Some of those makeup sessions are like,
imagine what Samantha would go shoot. She'd have to have that stuff.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Top of her head to her body. And by the way, am I right? Let me hear from you guys down below. Is there anyone more beautiful and happy and joyful in the world than Samantha?
Yeah, she's fantastic.
And then, when she took out the glass, I swear to God, Tammy can tell me if I'm wrong. When I saw her pull the glass out, I said, oh, Samantha, don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it.
She's awesome. We've had her on here. She's fantastic. She's a fantastic interview. We're a little bit, her and I cross over in the business a little bit because she works for She works for a production company as a director called Smuggler.
Oh.
And in advertising, I've used Smuggler before, and so I just thought it was fun. I just thought it was funny that she was added to their reel. And I forget, we were looking to do a spot for somebody. And anyway, she ended up on the reel, and I was like, oh my God, is this you? So, and I had met her before. So hey, we have a little bit of a thing just from time to time is like, if I'm on a shoot and there's like a really good craft services, like we talk about crafty. So I'll send her like a quick, like, ooh, check out the crafty on this shoot. You know what I mean? It's just
and isn't that funny? Because, you know, as an actor, I've been on movies where the craft services is, that's the designation for the person on the set who provides nourishment for the craft unions. Right. That's what that term means in real, real movies. But it's still called crafty, whatever, in commercials and everything. And I've been on movies where I can't take it. I say, give me a PA, and I leave and I go to like the dollar store. I take my money and I say, go buy $100 worth of stuff, because this is driving me crazy. I can't take it.
So I'll tell you then the crafty has to be in advertising, because I shared with her not too long ago. I was on a shoot, and it was this guy. I mean, the food was just fantastic. It was homemade. But one of his days, he had a Japanese fire truck that he brought over here. It was like, and he made fresh pizza out of it. It was
oh my God.
Most. I don't know. Anyways, it was the most.
We get on the low budget films. Let's just say there's not fresh pizza every day.
Yeah, well, advertising budgets are, probably eclipse most films. So,
but that's what a blessing that is. Anyway, you guys, it's to put it in perspective. I know it sounds silly, but you know how if you work at home, you go to the kitchen to get yourself a little snack about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because you need a little rush of sugar or adrenaline. Right. And that's why it's important to keep the crew that's working 12, 13-hour days.
Oh, yeah.
It's important to keep them happy and content.
100%. Wow.
Yeah, and joyful. So it's not that anybody's spoiled. It's that, a happy crew is an efficient crew, and an efficient crew is happy to be working.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. So... here's a good one. So this is from Tom Rogers. What's the differences between working with Rob Zombie and Damien Leone? So it's not a, who's better. It's just more.
No, I understand, Todd.
What's the difference?
They're both very similar. You know why? Because they're both very detail-oriented directors. And both enjoy it if you can plus the material to whatever extent you can do it.
Yeah.
Rob's always been good with me. It was different actually. The Munsters playing that character required that, because it was a comedy. You didn't really tweak the material too much.
Yeah.
But Damien was they're both very open to hearing perspective. Let me say that. The Santa Claus, I thought from the beginning he should take his job seriously, which would make the murder of him more horrific.
Right. Right.
Being a jerk, idiot Santa Claus would have been so easy.
I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah, but not as interesting
for
the audience. And that whole sequence, I'm not really Santa Claus. I have a name. I have a wife. Like that all came out of his being open to, like, kind of clarifying because a lot of people die in horror movies, everybody, and we like horror movies. I like horror movies, but don't we notice it when they don't act like you think a human being would really act in a situation of death?
Right.
And all you got to do is watch Forensic Files once to know that nobody goes down easily with
watch
death.
It all the time.
When they kill someone,
yeah,
their hands get torn up, their fingers slip on the knife, The person fights back. There's always defensive wounds. So nobody just lets someone kill them because you wouldn't. You know? You couldn't. I don't think you could.
Yeah, it's probably just instinctual, right? To fight back, right? I mean,
yeah. And it would also be, I think, psychologically instinctual that you would try to negotiate yourself out of the situation, which I thought the character did. Anyway, back to the question asked, Tom. They're both similar and they're both artists. That's the other cool thing that I've been on sets where Rob was like, hold on, wait a minute. And he goes over and picks up a paintbrush and he does a little tweak in the corner of a wall.
Yeah.
You know, and then because he's looking at the monitor thinking something doesn't look right. And Damien has the same ability. So
I don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah,
they are. Yeah, they are both artists. I remember Rob. So Rob's from my home state of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And so back when I played back in the day, his band played all the time. He was in White Zombie at the time. It was like him, his brother, women bassist. But they used to play all the time. We used to go see their shows. They were fantastic band.
The first time I met him,
they're artists, but just in different ways. You know?
Yeah, in different ways. But you know, Rob was an art department guy too. Like I think after the band days, you know, he worked on the art department of Pee Wee's Playhouse. So he just has a good eye for it. And Damien also has a good eye for the framing. That's why the movies look so good. That's one of the things that brings, I think the critics even see that there's artistic merit to the movies. They don't just set a camera up and shoot it.
Right. Let's see. Chris Creech asks, name one role that you have played that you consider a dream role and one dream role you have not yet played or been able to play.
What a nice question. Listen, playing Grandpa Munster, as you might imagine, playing Grandpa Munster was everything I hoped it would be. And I mean, I've been preparing for that since I was a kid. I was fascinated with vampires. The clown I was in a circus was a vampire clown. I dressed. And then the thing that's even crazier is that's the character that I turned into a magician, and the magician did magic shows. And the magician's name was the Count. So when Rob said to me, now there's no Eddie in the script, you know, when I send you the script, you're the Count.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost drove into a tree because, you know, that's what I was at 12.
Right.
So that was a dream role and everything about it was perfect.
Yeah.
And you know what I'd really like to play? It's a funny question. I'd like to play the real Santa Claus as opposed to a guy pretending to be Santa Claus.
Oh, the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
The Santa Claus.
That'd be fun to do one day.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the dream role. I think I haven't done.
Well, I mean, you've got Santa Clauses on your resume, so.
I know. At some point, someone would say, I just don't see him as Santa Claus. One guy, after seeing St. Nick of Bethlehem, said, don't be offended by this, but now whenever I close my eyes and think of Santa Claus, I think of your face. So that's good. That's good.
That's not horrible. So, and you touched on this a little bit. Has horror always been your thing? I know we started with circus and things, but circus and horror sort of a little bit.
Yeah, gothic horror, classic horror, Frankenstein, Wolfman,
right.
That's always been my thing, and people may or may not know it, but I have a very extensive collection of, you know, like in the family see people's collections of Art the Clown. That's my collection of the Wolfman, but there's, you know, there's 60 years of it.
Yeah.
And I even sold a lot of it at one point because that's what you do sometimes. And then I bought a lot of it back.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You know, Rob obviously is a big movie collector. And then I was just watching this thing the other day, and when I was back in Mass, Kirk Hammett had brought his horror collection up.
Yeah, it was at Salem.
Yeah, he brought it to the Peabody Essex Museum in Salem.
Yeah, I saw it there. Yeah, I was
yeah.
there.
Oh, did you see it there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect place to have it. Yeah. It's just so interesting because it was this connection between horror and metal, and I don't know. It's just there's so many horror people, and you obviously know this. You live it, you breathe it. Are collectors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, we all get that from a guy named Forey Ackerman.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Who was the editor-in-chief of Famous Monsters magazine.
Oh.
Corey had the Acker Mansion, which was filled with stuff, and we as kids. And I invite people, if they want to see this, they could go to monstergeneralstore.com.
Mm-hmm.
At the Monster General Store, we sell a documentary called The Vault of Horror, Dr. Shocker's Vault of Horror. And there's a documentary called Monster Maniacs. And we chronicled this. Why did we all Rob Zombie's in it, Guillermo del Toro's in it?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Why did we all decide we have to collect
that stuff? Yeah, it's wild. I mean, if you look at the people in this group, some of the stuff they have, it's like.
Well, I mean, you see they've got and they've been putting out great Art the Clown stuff that's licensed, and other people are putting out great Art the Clown stuff that's not licensed.
Yeah,
and you still buy it.
It's wild, but it's just like, yeah, it's just so funny that people are like collectors in the genre. Like, I can't think of any, unless you know of any genre that's similar.
Yeah, no, there's not.
I mean, people collect like they collect,
There's people who collect. If you like silent movies, you actually collect the movies generally. And if you like film noir, maybe you collect the posters.
Okay.
If you like horror, you buy toys.
Yeah. Or like monsters for your house and stuff.
Yeah.
Super cool. I don't know. That's just a whole other cool part of it.
Yeah, I've got in our house, I have wax figures. I have silicone figures. I have fiberglass figures. I liked, in the old days, we put together the Aurora models. And then at some point I was like, what if they were life size?
Yeah, right.
So I have all that stuff.
That was always the goal. That was Misty Harvey's question, by the way. So we got off a little.
Thank you, Misty.
Thank you, Misty, for that inspirational question. And finally, one more question. Mo Gadet. This is a great question. What were your most memorable moments on the set of Terrifier 3?
Oh, I think two. One is when I got to actually act with David Howard Thornton and Brad Stryker and Clint Howard. Okay. When we all got together and we started putting that thing on its feet. And, David is, Art the Clown is a mime character. Mm-hmm. But, that's not David's.
David won't say mime.
Yeah, no, well, mime's a bad word. But there's a theatrical term that, for a guy who's been doing theater for 60 years, you'd think I know. But whatever that term is.
He did make right.
That character is a silent character.
Yes.
But David is a very intuitive, intelligent, smart young man.
Yes.
And, he and I and us and we creating with Damien, that was all great. And then it was great to kind of sit there and watch them kill me, which is something you don't really get to do generally, and Chris Tinsley and his crew did such a great job with those heads that it was just spectacular. You come to the set and you see this mangled head of you, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And normally I would ask, could I have that? But I knew these heads were very expensive, so I didn't have the courage to ask.
Yeah, that's it. You could have added your own head to your collection or something like that, right?
Yeah, I would have, because I have stuff from the movies.
From the other ones, yeah, that's funny. Throw my Levy buddies a bone hair. What was it like working with those guys on stream? They're super. We love them. They're so good to us.
Let me tell you something about those Levy guys. They single-handedly got my wife Tammy and I realizing that we could kind of move our personal filmmaking ideas and ventures ahead, because I did a movie for Tyler Main and Renee Garling's his wife, called Penance Lane, and that's when I met the Levys.
Okay.
And they're so enthusiastic and joyful that I said to Tammy, we're thinking about this the wrong way. Like, these guys have this, we could use a smaller crew, and we could use, we could still make the movie without all the bells and whistles. And so they're very good at kind of coming up with ways to make it seem like you have all the bells and whistles.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that about them.
Resourceful, gritty.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And, Michael played my son in that movie. But then they came and they shot some of my first movie, Getting Grace, which I invite people to see.
They're fantastic.
And so I just love them to pieces. They're great guys.
They're great. They're super good to us, and always have been. So we support them in anything they do. And anybody, obviously, but And you talk about collectibles. I don't know if you've seen their haunted house.
They have a lot of crazy stuff.
Outrageous.
We did stream. I actually shot it before the Munsters, I think. I left from stream and I went to do the Munsters. Then I came back. I think they were done. Okay.
So you pivoted. Yeah. That's cool.
Pivoted. I like that. And I like that in stream I got to be the comic relief.
Yeah.
And that's where Damien, I didn't know Damien before that, but where I had to wear this thing where I was, debowed. And Damien was being very gentle. And I was like, Damien, sir, may I have the tape? And I was putting this thing on me very tight. I said, you're being very sweet to me, but, I know we got to make this look real.
Yeah.
And I thought it just looked crazy real. It was so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty. I mean, as we all know, that's what Damien, beyond many visions that Damien brings to the table. We know that practical effects and special effects.
They're just great. The way
Rob Zombie is a musician. I mean, that's what, Damien brings, to the table in its own right, I mean, and for him, even having Savini in this movie must have just, he's probably still in Cloud 9 somewhere. That's probably why we had to talk to him.
I mean, he did what we all do. You put everyone, and the Levys do it too. I mean, thank God the Levys got Tony Todd in their movie. Yeah. I just directed Tony in a movie last year.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Such a great movie.
What a shame. Yeah.
We've been in, Tony and I have been in, I think, 6 movies together.
Oh, really?
And then one I directed. And he didn't even know, but I was the one who suggested him for Final Destination. And then he got like 6. And they never brought our guys back after 1.
Yeah.
But he didn't know, and I don't know that they didn't have, I said, could that character be African American? Because I just worked with Tony and I suggested him, and that really turned out great, to be part of that.
Fantastic. Yeah. Man, what a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming here. I mean, this has been fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here, and I look forward to meeting everybody at the conventions. We've got some great photo ops coming up. And can I also remind people, this is new, that, hey, family, this is to you guys. I went, it was suggested to me by someone else in the group, so I did it. I went and I joined Cameo. And so you could get a cameo from the Terrifier Santa Claus.
Awesome. Just in time.
Just in time. So for your Christmas gift. So it's on Cameo, cool. I guess under my name, or Terrifier 3 Santa. I don't really remember. But, you can find me, and I'm happy to do those cameos for everybody.
We'll dig out a link and put it in the group here.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is really, if I could just say to everyone else in the group, you guys are part of something very special. This is unique to this moment in time. And because of you, you've helped these filmmakers, who are all great people, and you've helped this movie and this story. You've elevated it to a thing that can't be ignored by Hollywood. So you've done an enormous good deed to Damien and David and the crew. And I'm just proud of everybody who loves the movie, and I'm proud of their support and how hard they go at it. And come see St. Nick of Bethlehem if it's playing near you. We'll put a trailer up so you can see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
It's not. It ain't Terrifier 3. It's, imagine if you flipped a coin and the other side was St. Nick of Bethlehem.
Well, some of the members already knew about it. So these guys are rabid horror fans in here. So they're
it's
on
a
it.
blessing.
Yeah, cool.
And I'm sorry that Polly and Steve got disconnected, but we'll connect again, I hope. And
absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you everybody for your time and energy, and I wish you all the best.
All right.
A happy holiday.
Thanks. You too.